Some even laughed when she wore her security uniform to class. This is the story of Nairai. Grew up in a humble village with dusty roads and round huts. She was quiet, curious, and always carried a small notebook. She loved science lessons. She loved volunteering at the small clinic. Her greatest dream, to become a doctor. Her teachers said, "This girl is destined for greatness." But her parents were poor farmers. And the world was not kind to dreams that came from poor homes. Nairai finished school with excellent results. But when college fees were announced, her father removed his cap and stared at the ground. Her mother wiped tears silently. They tried. They borrowed. They begged. But the money was not enough. Nairai watched other children leave for university, while she stayed behind. Her heart shattered. But she refused to hate her parents. She knew they had done their best. Life pushed her into adulthood too soon. She woke before sunrise to find work. Carrying bricks, washing clothes, selling vegetables, babysitting children. Sometimes she went home with empty pockets. People whispered, "Isn't she the bright girl who wanted to be a doctor? Look at her now." But Nairai stood strong and answered in her heart. Struggle is not failure. Her father fell ill. Her mother's back weakened from years of farm work. Bills grew. Nairai became the backbone of the family. She cooked. She fetched water. She worked in fields. Her dreams felt distant, but she never stopped believing. Every night before sleeping, she whispered, "God, do not forget me." One morning, she heard news. Security guard intake. Training opportunity available. Her friends laughed. "You, a security guard, you were meant for better jobs." But Nairai said, "There is no shame in honest work." She applied. She prayed. She was accepted. It was not the dream she wanted, but it was the door she was given. Training was tough. Early morning drills, heavy uniforms, long lectures, endurance tests. Some trainees quit. Some mocked her. But Nairai refused to give up. She trained harder than everyone. Because she had known struggle before. Pain was not new to her. At graduation, she received her badge. Her mother ululated with pride. Her father smiled weakly and said, "My daughter stands taller than mountains." She worked at a hospital gate. The same place she once dreamed of working as a doctor. Some nurses greeted her kindly. Others ignored her. Some people looked down on her uniform. But Nairai stood firm, polite, alert, disciplined. She protected patients, guided visitors, calmed emergencies. Every shift reminded her she was still close to medicine, just on a different path. One night a child collapsed at the entrance. People panicked. Nairai acted fast. She carried the child inside, called the emergency team, stayed beside the mother. Doctors praised her alertness. A nurse told her, "You have the heart of a doctor." That night, Nairai cried quietly. Not from sadness, but from renewed hope. Months passed. She became respected. She was known as the guard who smiled, the guard who helped, the guard who cared. She was not ashamed of her job. She wore her uniform with dignity. Because she knew, value is not in the title, but in the person wearing it. With her earnings, she paid family bills, bought medication for her father, helped her siblings with school fees, and slowly, she began saving. Not for clothes, not for luxuries, but for education. Her dream was not dead. It was waiting. During quiet night shifts, she watched ambulances come and go. She saw pain. She saw hope. She saw life. She told herself, "I may not be a doctor yet, but I still serve humanity." Her spirit grew stronger. Her purpose became clearer. Her story was still unfolding. Years later, a new training program opened. Part-time medical assistant course. Affordable, flexible, designed for working adults. Nairai held the brochure tightly. Her hands trembled. Her heart beat fast. She whispered, maybe, just maybe, my dream is finding its way back to me. And she registered, not as a defeated girl, but as a woman who refused to bow to life. Nairai began her part-time medical assistant course. She worked security by day and studied by night. Her shift ended at 6 p.m. Her classes started at 7 p.m. Sometimes she arrived tired, eyes heavy, feet aching, but she refused to quit. She studied in silence, under dim hostel lights, with a cup of black tea to stay awake. Her classmates were younger. Some laughed when she wore her security uniform to class. But Nairai told herself, I am not late in life. I am just taking the longer road. The journey was not easy. Her father's health worsened. Her mother needed help at home. Bills kept rising. There were nights she cried. Not because she was weak, but because she carried too much alone. Sometimes she thought of giving up the course. But every time doubt whispered, she remembered the girl she once was. The girl who dreamed of becoming a doctor. And she continued. During her final exams, she failed one module. Her chest tightened. Her hands shook. She walked home slowly as if the world had grown heavier. At home, she broke down. For the first time, she felt truly defeated. But her mother held her and said, Daughter, those who fall and rise again are the ones who truly succeed. Nairai wiped her tears, registered for the module again, and returned stronger. This time, she passed. People began admiring her. Young girls visited her at the gate and said, Cece, teach us to be strong. We also want to dream. She started free weekend study circles for village school children. Some called her the security guard who teaches. Parents respected her. Teachers invited her to speak. She told the youth, life may delay your dream, but never let it erase it. Nairai became a role model without even planning to be one. At the hospital, there was a paramedic named Tawanda. Humble, soft-spoken, respectful, he admired Nairai's discipline. He saw how she helped elderly patients, how she stood firm during emergencies, how she worked harder than anyone. He told her one day, you are not just guarding this hospital, you are guarding hope. They became friends. They talked during tea breaks about purpose, about sacrifice, about dreams. Love did not rush. It grew slowly like sunrise over distant hills. Tawanda did not love her for beauty, or comfort, or status. He loved her. In uniform, in tired eyes, in struggle, in faith. He told her, I do not want a perfect woman. I want a strong one. Nairai feared love at first. She wondered, am I worthy? I am still climbing. But Tawanda answered gently, we climb together. And for the first time in years, her heart felt light. After completing her medical assistant training, the hospital recognized her dedication. The head nurse called her. We have watched you for years. Your discipline, empathy, and courage. We would like to promote you. Nairai removed her security cap slowly. She felt tears in her eyes. She was offered a position as a hospital medical assistant. She did not abandon where she came from. She thanked the security department. She hugged her old uniform. Because it was never a symbol of failure. It was the bridge that carried her forward. Years passed. Nairai became known for her compassion, her firmness, her courage during emergencies. She trained younger nurses, mentored student workers, and strengthened hospital teamwork. Her leadership wasn't loud. It was humble, strong, rooted in struggle. She was eventually appointed assistant department supervisor, not because of connections, not because of privilege, but because she had walked every painful step of the journey. She returned to her village not as the girl who once cried over closed doors, but as a woman who opened new ones. She built a small study center for girls who could not afford tutoring. She told them, dreams do not die. They wait for courage. Her father smiled proudly. Her mother's eyes shone with gratitude. and the village sang her name. One evening, Nairai stood outside the hospital, looking at the gate where she once guarded. The moon was bright, the wind calm. She whispered, "I did not become a doctor, but I became a healer of lives." Her dream had not vanished. It had transformed. And Nairai, the girl who once had nothing, became a woman who gave others hope.